Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video, we will be exploring the Sinister Six. Their animations, their stats, their abilities, some theory crafting, and wouldn't you know it, there might even be a little spreadsheet action on seeing how these guys rank up to the rest of the characters in Marvel Strike Force. We might also have a little special guest. Maybe not special, maybe a mysterious guest appearance by someone who could be potentially coming to this team. But before we get into it, let's hear a little bit about what and how we got some of this information. I'm a part of a volunteer Fox Next Envoy program. I'm not an employee of Fox Next, nor am I an employee of Marvel. I do not receive any payments from either of these companies. The information that I was provided came directly from Fox Next through this Envoy program. However, any opinions, comments, or analysis of this information is strictly my own. Okay, so let's check out these Vulture abilities and animations. So, like I mentioned, the abilities are all 666. I'll talk about the level 7 here at the end and kind of what those upgrades are. So let's check out this video. This video was provided, like I said, by Fox Next. So you can see the basic here. Attack primary target for 210% damage plus 30 additional damage per negative effect. He's also got the special there that's highlighted. I'm pausing it for a second. Now, the basic is called Liftoff, and the special is called Fight and Flight. We're going to go back to the basic here, check out the actual animation. He kind of flies up, hits them, pops up, flips back. Nothing too crazy there, kind of a neat animation. In my opinion, there's some that are better out there, but it is what it is. So kind of just a generic ability there. So, and if you noticed here, it's important to note what his abilities start off at and what they are as you can see, it's 4 out of 4 and 5 out of 6. So that is something to note there, that his specials available as basic but not his ultimate first turn. So now it's second turn, and you can see here his ultimate, which is called Supersonic, is now full, and it can attack all enemies for 260% damage plus change speed bar by 20%. Again, this is level 6, so let's check out what the animation looks like here. Flies to the center, kind of throws some talons at everybody, flips back around. So that is the ultimate. Now we've got the special, and again, the special is called Fight and Flight, and it's attack primary and all adjacent targets for 240% damage plus 70% chance to slow. If the target is a city hero, apply offense down for 1 to 2 turns. So let's check out what this animation looks like here. You can see there's kind of a fog, comes up, spins around, goes everybody, spins around, slows them, and comes back and lands. So one of the last things that I've got an animation for here is his passive, or part of his passive. His passive is called Scavenger, and on enemy death, change speed bar. I'll see here's after his wings go up, and then you've got his speed bar pumping in. So that is the actual gain of speed bar via his passive. Now, I mentioned, I'm going to swing a new screen in here. These are the descriptions, the write-ups of his specific abilities. These are all level 7. I went through them, so I'm not going to go through them again, but you can see there's a little bit of a bumpage on each one of these. You know, special, you got a slow. City hero, you've got offensive down for 2 turns instead of the 1 to 2. The speed bar change, I believe, is not 20, but 25. And then here's the passive. So this is the full passive. And this is, again, level 5. On spawn, fill 10% speed bar. Fill 10% speed bar per city hero. So that's kind of a, if you're facing a defender squad, you get a nice little bump up there at the beginning. You'll go pretty quick. On allied death, gain deflect. Kind of nice, I suppose. And then on enemy death, which I just went over, change speed bar by 25%. And then gain 10% block chance for each city hero enemy. So interesting kit. To me, there's some carnage aspects of it with the speed bar changing, some offensive down, some slow. And it's not listed on the document here, but the alleged tags for Vulture are Villain, City, Tech, Brawler, Spider-Verse, and Sinister 6. Those are important to note when you're considering these characters and where you want to put them. All right, now let's get on to the next one. All right, so let's get to Shocker and his abilities and animations. So first one up is his basic attack primary target for 220% piercing on target dodge. Apply assist now to a random Sinister 6 ally. That's obvious. That assist now for the dodge, obviously good for your Daredevil dodges. And then his basic is called Concussive Bolt. Now let's get on to the next ability here, which we're going to have be his actually ultimate. The ultimate is actually called, what is it, Subsonic Blast. And you can read attack primary and all adjacent targets for 120% piercing. Repeat attack using a new primary target randomly chosen from the previous secondary targets. So what I take that as is if you hit, in this case, it looks like we're focused on Kree Royal Guard. We're going to hit, anyone next to it, and then he's going to pick one of the adjacent targets and then do the same attack there, and it's going to hit the adjacent targets from there as well. All right, so here's the animation. The ultimate hits the ground, hits around a little bit, and didn't really show the secondary hit from what I could tell, but interesting nonetheless. So final ability here that we've got is a special. Special is called Sonic Dissonance. And then it's generate one ability energy for self, apply offense up to self for 1 to 2 turns, apply offense up to 2 random Sinister 6 allies, and change speed bar by 80%. We'll check out the animation for this here in a second. It's pretty simple. It just kind of clinks together, puts a little thing up, and then you'll see a number of Sinister 6 allies get offensive up. Now, the one thing that I want to make sure that you guys see is here's his ability starts. You can see his special starts full 5 of 5, and his ultimate starts 5 out of 6. So he can special right away, but not ultimate right away. Now let's swing over to our handy dandy little information tag that we've got here. So Shocker, his tags are Villain, City, Tech, Blaster, Spider-Verse, Sinister 6. So again, another Tech, this time a Blaster. These are all level 7 abilities here, so you can see that they get slightly better, some more piercing. It looks like the main upgrade there. Special 1 ability, offense up to self for 2 turns as opposed to 1 to 2. And then, okay, so the offense up to all Sinister 6 allies, that's a really nice upgrade there. I'd say that's probably likely to be essential. And then change speed bar by 80%. His ultimate up to level 7 is attack primary and all adjacent targets for 120 piercing. Repeat attack using new primary, and it's the same thing. And repeat attack a 3rd time using a new primary target, choosing from the previous secondary target. So that's nice for level 7. And then the passive here is gain 20% armor, gain 5% armor per Sinister 6 ally, and then gain damage and gain additional 5% damage per city hero enemy. So again, picking on those city hero enemies. So they're obviously out to get the defenders of the world and the Spider-Man of the world and those types. So let's get on to the next one. All right, so now on to Rhino. So let's get looking at his abilities. I'll start this one off at the beginning where he mentioned he starts with full energy, everything. 4 out of 4 on his special and 5 out of 5 on his alt. So let's see, the first one that I believe he does here is a special, and his special is called Furious Charge. And it says gain taunt, clear 1 negative effect from self and each adjacent ally. Attack primary and all adjacent targets for 290% damage. This attack cannot be blocked. So it gives a taunt and then actually attacks as well, which is kind of nice. Interesting animations there. Might look familiar. And then next up, so we've got his ultimate. Attack primary and all adjacent targets for 320% damage. This attack gains 15% damage per city hero enemy. So that can obviously start getting up there a little bit. And his ultimate is called Stampede. So another charge-like ability, gives the little Rhino wind up and then kind of goes at him. And then his last one here is his basic. Attack primary target for 240% damage, just called Pummel. Which you can see he pretty much just pummels them into the ground. Pretty heavy hit on that one, pretty strong. So now the one thing that you don't really see in that one is some of his passive, which I'll bring over our handy dandy little spreadsheet here, or write up, not a spreadsheet, but Rhino. First his tags are villain, city, bio, not tech, bio. And if you get into the comic lore, I think you'll be okay with that. Might be confused by the mechanical suit, but you know, it's one of the things Fox Nexus, and this is just me, this is not part of the Envoy information, but one of the things Fox Nexus said in the past is, you know, they've gotta be smart about how they classify things to make sure it's not, you know, doesn't ruin the game, so to speak. And for me, I'm fine with less tech at the moment. So anyway, and then Protector, Spider-Verse, and obviously Sinister 6. So again, these are level 7 and 5. These are your T formats, additional damage on the basic. Let's see, for a special, gain taunt, clear one negative effect from self and each adjacent, attack price, so some increased damage. And then his ultimate, attack primary and all adjacent for some additional damage, and then another 5% for each city hero, which is nice. This looks like this could, it's very Juggernaut-esque with his ultimate. And then his passive is on spawn. It's called Rhino Hide, which is very cute. Like that, I suppose. A little thick armor. On spawn, gain a counter, which is nice. So as soon as he's attacked, he's got a counter that's automatically on him. Gain 25% max health per Sinister 6 ally. So that's a nice health boost there. And this is the part that's pretty interesting. And I'm thinking you could probably find some good areas to use him here. So he might start being on some of those hybrid teams, but we'll see. On blind, change speed bar by 100%. On blind, clear one negative effect from self and each ally. Interesting, huh? Who's the first person you think that counters there? I know I can think of one. It's a big one, but it's just interesting to see how you're going to potentially put him onto, you know, a squad that's going against the person you're thinking of at the moment. So anyway, that's our the information we've got specific to Rhino. All right, now just for fun, let's get some more animations shown here. So this is the counter that Rhino's got from, like I said, he is spawned, so he gets a counter in there. What do we got here? Shocker basic, I'm guessing, again. And these are just showing them for fun. A little bit more of the video. There's some Rhino special, again, with that charge. We got a Vulture ult. What do we got here? I'm guessing a Shocker ult. Yep, alright. We get a Vulture special there with a fog and just kind of goes everyone, spins out. And then we've got our ultimate from Rhino again. Some pretty nice strong hits there. And then we've got that Shocker special again. And some more basic. This is probably... Is that? No, it's not a kill shot. Just a basic from Vulture. Basic from Rhino. Just kind of showing some fun, cool animations that show you what you got here. Here's a kill shot. So I kind of like this one. It's kind of fun where Vulture just, you know, pounds him to the ground with the kill shot on the basic. Here's another special. Some more basic from Shocker. Some more basic from Rhino. There's that special again from Vulture. There's that passive you can see. Here's his ultimate. I'm guessing there's a Rhino special. He's just got like a double charge. There's that special from Shocker. And then a view of that basic where it just kind of shows him go up in the air. And here's that ultimate again from Shocker, even though the enemies are kind of off to the side there. So yeah, some additional animations. Just figured I'd want to share those with you guys. Alright, so now here's some stats that we're going to actually show. Now, just before I play this, understand this is Gear 12, Gear Tier 12, Level 70, 6 yellow star, 1 red star, and just all purple abilities. So you can kind of see these. So just remember that, and don't worry if you're not keeping up with it. I'm going to go through the detail on this in what I'll call WolverThor typical theory crafting. So we'll pull to the stats. You can kind of see the health, the damage, armor, focus, resistance. And again, I'm going to go through this in detail in a spreadsheet type. There's a speed, and then all these are typically the same. There's very rarely higher. So, and then we'll jump over to, I believe, Rhino, and you'll see where his kind of stats are, and get to see some of the character in game too. You gotta, love those character, in-game things. So nice health pool, some armor, low focus, resistance, speed's pretty, it's pretty low. And then let's get on to our last friend, who should be Vulture. And then again, Tier 12, gonna show his character and screen. You can kind of see he's got almost Vulture looking feet, which is kind of neat. And then health, damage, armor, focus, resistance, and then he should have, solid speed. So that gives you kind of a decent idea of what their stats are, but what does that mean? What is it? Are they good? Are they bad? Like, do you know what the stats are? And let me pull in something else here to kind of show you exactly what that is. And abracadabra, we've got a spreadsheet. So I've actually got this spreadsheet. Now, typically it's based stats on, let's zoom in a little bit so you can see it better here. The stats are based on level 70, 7 yellow stars, no red, T11, passive level 4. So obviously, like I'd mentioned, those folks are in the game at different levels. But what I did is I compared America Chavez between those two levels, where one's level 70, one's, okay, so that's a difference, 1 yellow star difference, 1 red star difference, and the gear tier difference. And it's basically, this one with the 1 red star and 1 less yellow star is 95% of the other one. So I increased these values by, roughly 5% when I input them into this spreadsheet here. And I highlight them with green so they'd stick out. So what this spreadsheet essentially does is I've got everybody in the game's health, damage, armor, all their stats. And then I've actually gone through and ranked them for each one. So you're like, well, why is this, set up this way at the moment? Okay, so where are these guys ranked? So the way I've got it set up, let me zoom out a little bit. So let's do one more zoom out. Now I'll just scroll over. So, I've got all these categories, and then off to the right over here, I've got, and I'm gonna have to move my screen some, is I've got an average rank. I've also got an average rank for HP, damage, and speed in case you're just looking for those. So I've ranked them, and the way it's set up is that, let's actually filter something here. So I'm going to sort this range by, what is A, B, C, D, E, sort range by E. And then from highest to lowest, it should be, yeah, all right. So then you zoom in, and all right, so we've got our damage ranks. And the way it's set up is that, if someone's got the same damage, I keep them tied. I don't, and then once I get here, it's, they're ranked 11th. So that way it gives you an idea, and that's how each one of these is set up. So just out of curiosity, where are those guys with the damage rank? All right, so you don't get till Rhino and Shocker till much lower down here. And then I think Vulture is even lower. So that's the idea of this spreadsheet, and what you got here is, let's just get to those guys. So, Rhino, he's got pretty good health, okay damage, good armor, and then, your focus, resistance, and his speed is the 85th. So it's a little slow there, obviously. Shocker and Vulture both kind of lower on the health range, not surprising. Okay damage. The Vulture damage is pretty, leaves a little bit to be desired there, I'd say. Armor rank. Shocker's armor is actually pretty good. Vulture's not so much. focus rank, not so good with these two up here. Vultures is okay. Resistance rank, you know, Vultures is again not very good, and same thing with Shocker. Rhinos is decent. And then let's get to the all-important speed, and then we've got Rhino speed ranked. You can't see him off to the side here, but this is Rhino, Shocker, so Shocker's got a good speed. And then which one was, let's click the row so we remember here. And then Vulture is one of the fastest in the game, so that's pretty cool. And then again, you know, so you come over here, and let me scroll my window over here, and you can see the average rank. So these guys, 66 for Vulture, and again, Shocker and Rhino are those top two, so they're at 53, 55. So, you know, okay stats, you know, not great, not terrible. Obviously those are purely stat based. It's not factoring a number of different things like their abilities and when they're ready, and you know, the whole hero, the city hero aspect of it. So, you know, that's something that, you know, you kind of got to think of when you're wanting to decide, you know, whether to invest in these guys or not. I have to say I'm pretty interested to see the Rhino aspect. And again, if it's not clear at this point, this is clearly not, you know, Fox Next territory. This is WolverThor talking about his, you know, theory crafting and all that kind of stuff. You know, and these guys, they come down a little bit lower, you know, so it's, you know, this is their general range. So, you know, I'll zoom out a little bit further so you can kind of see where these, you know, you just, you know, actually let's zoom out even further so you can, you know, if this is the whole list, you know, you get down here towards the bottom, and that's where these guys start falling in at. And again, this is currently ranked by the average rank of all these different stats. So, you know, kind of interesting. See how these guys play together. I think it's not necessarily about individuals. It's about team composition. And these guys are really meant to take down some of those city hero teams. And you're seeing those a lot, especially in Blitz and, you know, even in War. So now that we've done that, let's get to one more little special surprise that we've got here. Okay, now last but certainly not least is some art and abilities on Mysterio. Well, let me clarify, abilities animations. So obviously Marvel Games had shown something in Twitter today, or yesterday I guess at this point. But let's look at some animations and some Mysterio pictures. You can see the artwork here. It's pretty solid. Really like the artwork behind him. His suit is pretty cool. Obviously, I like the globe head. There's a little bit of a more of an action pose, and then some sort of, I don't know, I'm here, come get me, I'm awesome. And then I think the kind of grand poobah of the whole thing is these animations. I'm just going to let this play first time through. I don't know anything about these. It's just sharing footage. So you can see Mysterio here's, that's pretty cool. Very special effecty. Huh, I like that, all right. And then we're gonna have the big look. I'm assuming that's some sort of alt. I'm not really sure there. And then I like that one. That reminds me a little bit of the trailer that we've seen for Spider-Verse. So yeah, so I'm just gonna run those through one more time and just kind of a little bit more commentary this time. But yeah, I really like the graphic there. It looks really sharp. You know, kind of comes in, does something, and kind of hits the person from behind. Wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of stun on that, but we'll see. And this is just so you guys know, this is all my opinion at this point. The only thing I have here is this video. Okay, so let's go jump back a little bit there. So comes back in for another ability. I guess that's the stun looking one. And then let's see what's this next one. Looks like he throws something at him, kind of some dark matter, and this shows up and just kind of pounds the ground. A bunch of stuff going around. People, I can see some slows there too. And then I could see him really being a controller type. So yeah, so that's Mysterio and his abilities. So thanks again for everybody for watching. I hope this brought you something good, you know, some new information, or even just seeing some cool new things that are coming to the game. I hope you liked it, and as always, please hammer down on that like button, click the notification bell to, you know, see these videos pop up. It always helps the channel kind of get out there a little bit more. You know, share it with your alliances and anyone else, and you know, hopefully it helps. I tried to give it a little bit of a WolverThor spin with some theory crafting on as well. And thanks again, and hopefully see you guys again soon.